evening, Rip City. Welcome into this late edition of Blazers Game Day with this 8 p.m. tip. Everything moved back a little bit. We're in uncharted territory. Feels so weird to be here late, even though it's just an hour. Starting game day at 6 o'clock versus 5. It throws me off. But hopefully we have a good night here tonight. We all stay up for some good basketballs. The Blazers welcome in the Phoenix Suns to Moda Center with lots of storylines to pay attention to. Obviously, trade deadline is Thursday. 2 more days and the trade flurries are already coming. We'll talk about that here on the show today. The latest one that happened just about an hour ago was the Clippers sending James Harden to Cleveland for Darius Garland. That was an interesting trade there. That's a Cleveland team that we just saw come into Moda, and they're wheeling and dealing too, because they traded out DeAndre Hunter, bringing in Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder, and now they got James Harden as well. So things are moving, things are shaking. Giannis is still waiting around. I think the league is waiting for that domino to fall to see where he goes, where he ends up, and who might be involved in that trade, because the Blazers get in on that. We'll talk about that throughout the show. But there is one trade that they already did do, and that was the trade that sent Dwap Reith to Atlanta, along with 2 second-round picks for sharpshooter Vit Krejci, the 6'8 guard. Out there on the court right before the show, watched him going through his dribbling drills. Didn't get a chance to watch him shoot, but I'm excited to see him make his debut tonight, because the Blazers are, as many of you know, the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. I reiterate, the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA, and they just added a guy who shoots 40% from beyond the arc for his career. That is good. That is good for your Blazers. Now, if you want to join the conversation, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio is one way. You can also go hit us up on the text line 88528, where our first question of the night. Hi, CB. Is this game on 2.2 tonight? I think we got a hidden gem in Vit. That boy can really shoot the rock, just like what you need. Just what we need. Great job as usual, CB. Thank you for the compliment there. The answer to your question is yes. The game is going to be side by side, so we do have everybody here tonight. This is a crazy broadcast, actually, not something that happens very often. Casey Holdall pointed that out, that not only is tonight's game on NBC via Peacock, it is not an NBC exclusive. The Blazers crew will be here, so it'll be on KUMP 2.2, Blazer Vision. The visiting TV crew is here, as well as a TV crew from Tencent in China broadcasting the game overseas. So you will have 4 play-by-play broadcast crews in the building tonight, which is pretty awesome. Doesn't happen too often. So that is what happens when you catch Vit Krejci fever. Everyone remembers what Nurk fever was like. Everybody, if you were here, you remember Nurk fever. Some of us call it Burke fever for the listeners of the show. I think that, my wife and my kids might be the only one who actually came down with Burke fever, but Nurk fever was a thing. Everybody loved the Bosnian Beast. When I was at NBC, then it was still Comcast Sportsnet, CSNNW. I remember we had viewings for a Blazers away game at one of the local bars, and we had shirts printed, Nurk fever on. So maybe, just maybe, Vit Krejci comes in, he gets you going, and you get Vit Krejci fever. Give it to me. I want to see him go out there, go ham. Light the net on fire, my friend. The Blazers need somebody, anybody, to hit a three-point shot consistently. And I've mentioned it many a time, when the Blazers, or any team, is the worst three-point shooting team in the entire league, bringing in a guy who shoots 40% might help that. So I can't wait to see him get out there. Also, for those of you paying attention to those injury reports, I'd circle Friday, because it really does feel like Friday will be the season debut of Scoot Henderson. He and Denny Avdia were both listed as doubtful for this game. And if you're following the way these injuries have gone, when Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant both came back, they were listed as doubtful, downgraded to out at game day, listed as questionable the next day. and then they played. So I would expect to see Scoot Henderson on Friday, which will be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Also, shout out to our texter who does remind me that, obviously I was making Nerk Fever references because it'd be great just to have a great game from Vit Krejci as he gets there in Rip City. But Vit will be wearing number 27, which makes him the first player to wear 27 since Yusuf Nurkic wore number 27 for your Blazers. So the dots, they are connected. And of course, I did mention on social media, if you saw the video of him coming into the practice facility, he had the sweatshirt on, it had the clock on the chest, it read, zeros across the chest. And I was just messing around on Twitter because I was like, connect the dots here. A clock graphic on his shirt. The clock is made of nothing but letter O's. Dame time. Vit's locked in. Vit is locked in. And hopefully that leads to some beautiful spreading on the floor and some beautiful three-point shots tonight because the Blazers need it. The Blazers enter tonight's game, unfortunately, losers of 5 straight games. So they need this game tonight. They need to get back right. They need to find a W. Hopefully you could say that it might be made easier because there is no Devin Booker available for the Phoenix Suns. So that's nice. Phoenix is riding a 1-game losing streak. They lost to the Clippers 117-93 in their last game. But they're still a good team. They're still a team that has far outperformed what people thought they would be at the beginning of the season. They come in at 30-20 on the year. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough. You're going to need everybody to show up. I want to see a big game from Vit Krejci. I want to see Blake Wesley's going to get out there. I just want to see everyone go to work, get it done, and get a dub. And then you get, on Friday, you get a game that looked like it was going to be massive for the playoff/play-in implications with 2 games against Memphis, who right now, as you look at the standings, is 3 games behind your Trailblazers. The Trailblazers sitting there at 10th in the play-in. But Memphis now comes to town without Jaren Jackson Jr. after trading him to Utah this morning. So now hopefully Portland can take advantage of that, pick up a couple extra wins there. And then as we've talked about many times in the schedule, finds a lot more easier games post All-Star break. Get healthy, get Denny back, get Scoot back, integrate Vit Krejci into the lineup. In about 5 weeks when he's healthy, Giannis Antetokounmpo will make his Blazers debut, right? Because he's out for a little bit with the calf strain, which I joked at the time, that makes him a Blazer. Little did I know that the Blazers might actually have a chance to get him, even if that chance is just about 1%, because I'm not out here pretending like this is going to happen. But we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show because the Blazers are rumored to be in on that. I definitely don't think Giannis is going to come here, but it does feel like for the first time ever that there could be a realistic chance something like that big could happen. And I do think the Blazers are kind of the pin holding it all together. Those picks that they have right now, I think they're getting their door banged on. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, what's it going to take to get those picks from you? We need you here to help us facilitate this trade. Hey Joe, how you doing? It's the New York Knicks. Long time no call. I'm just calling because we need your picks and some money to help us land Giannis. You in on this? So it's going to be an interesting trade deadline should Giannis be moved because I think there's a high probability that the Blazers get in on that. Sean on the YouTube chat says, so excited. Hopefully you see Scoot this weekend. Krejci's going to add some vitality to this team. Some vitality. I like that. Fun little play on words. And I'm excited for him. It's exciting to have a guy in whose main job is going to be to hit that three-point shot because the Blazers need it desperately. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to head down to the Coach's Corner here from acting head coach Tiago Splitter ahead of this game and get his thoughts on Vit and what they can expect tonight as they welcome the Phoenix Suns to town and look to end a 5-game losing streak. We'll talk to you after the break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. We're getting ready now for the Coach's Corner. We'll hear from head coach Thiago Splitter in just a second. We are waiting for him to head to the podium. As soon as he does, Brendan will pod that audio up, and we will hear from the Blazers acting head coach. And again, hopefully get his thoughts on Vit, who is down there going through his warm-up. I'll tell you one thing I like about his warm-up is his dribbling drill. Reminds me a lot of the same exact drill that CJ McCollum would do. 2 basketballs, go through, do both between the legs, switch which hands he was on, go up and down, and trying to show off those handles. Handles are important. We need people who can take care of the ball. His last few games, Blazers been at the 20 mark for turnovers. That's no good. We can't be doing that. So hopefully that's something to build on. I like to see that. All right, let's head down to the podium.
He excels at. He's also a good driver and pass the ball well. Like I said, we're gonna try different things and see where he plays, which position he plays the best for us.
Coach, I had a quick couple of things. One, the USA World, they announced the rosters. Just curious, what do you think about them going to this format now, and how successful you think it can be for All-Stars?
I like it. I think, I think we all waiting for some real competition. Hopefully, dividing the world and U.S. brings that, and I think everybody's searching for that competition and see good basketball instead of 40 minutes of alley-oops and open dunks and behind the leg and all of that. But so hopefully we have a good game and it's competitive and we see great players competing out there. So this is what we like to see.
Quick follow. Last time you guys played Phoenix, early in the second half, you called a quick timeout. I think it was a couple turnovers, and then you called a timeout. Was that a matter of sensing the momentum going the other way? What led you to calling that quick timeout?
I guess I don't remember exactly right now, but when it's early like that, you just see that the team is not awake. They need a wake-up call. And they don't have the readiness that we are asking for. And now that you remember, I might do that again tonight.
Are you any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
And there you hear from acting head coach Thiago Splitter, who did say there that Vit will play tonight. So there's that. That's pretty good. And I
cannot wait to see him on the floor. Obviously doesn't have a full grasp of the playbook right now. That will take some time. That's understandable. He's been here in Portland for just a little over 24 hours. But the good part about basketball is there's a lot of terms and a lot of things that travel from team to team. So as long as you know those basics, and especially when you're a guy who just has to get open, run around screens, catch a pass, and shoot it, I think he'll be able to fit in just fine. What's going to be really interesting to see is how he plays off the ball. I want to see if he's one of those guys like a Klay Thompson, prime Klay in Golden State, who is just super, super aggressive off the ball, running across screens, getting open so the catch and shoot was really easy. Going to be really eager to see how he looks like in that aspect. And, again, it's going to be nice to have a shooter. And maybe he comes out and he doesn't shoot the ball well, but understand that that's maybe the opening night jitters or the fact that, again, he doesn't know the full playbook. There's plenty of things that could play into that. But I do think in the long run he's going to be just fine. Blazers got a real good one in Vit. I like the fit. People are like, oh, so you're telling me that all these other teams passed on him if he's so good? And that's not the case. When you look at some of the trades that Atlanta was starting to do, and it was kind of creating a logjam there. Kispert's there, and that they like him, and they can get off and maybe create an extra roster spot at some point to make some more moves, because I do believe Dwabrith will be waived and all that stuff. The Blazers just took an opportunity, like, okay, well, we can help you, you can help us, and let's do this. And Vit's not the type of guy who's going to go out there and play 35 minutes a night. It's a guy who's going to find his role and play it, maybe 7th, 8th guy off the bench in the long run, who could come in and just hit open shots. And that's super important for this team, especially with how they've played from beyond the arc this year. The proof that they need someone who can hit that shot consistently is the fact that they are last in the league in three-point percentage. I know I've told you that many times already on this show, but they are top 3 in the league in three-point shots per game. So it's proof that the three-point shot is part of their offense. They just don't have a ton of guys who can hit it with consistency. Yes, Tumani can hit that shot. Yes, Shea can hit that shot. Yes, Denny has hit that shot. But none of those guys are absolute filthy, consistent three-point shooters. Vit Krejci can be. Has not shot worse than 40% over the last 3 seasons. Very, very nice to have that addition. And then, of course, we'll see what other additions that the Blazers will get over the coming hours and coming days. NBA trade deadline is on February 5th, so a chance to add some players still out there. Can't wait to see what that is. But the Blazers' first course of action is to try to get back in the win column. Let's take a look at what happened just a few nights ago. February 1st against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a game that the Cavs absolutely dominated. They won 130 to 111 in a game where Jarrett Allen went ham. Jarrett Allen led the way for Cleveland with 40 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 block shots, and 2 steals. Absolutely filled up the scoreboard. He was 16 of 23 from the floor, just 0 of 1 from beyond the arc, 8 of 12 from the free throw line as well. And this game was definitely one that losing is never fun, but this is one where I think Donovan Clingan has a lot of game tape that he can pour over and learn from, because as my friend on the other end of the headset, Brendan, would say, for lack of better terms, Donovan Clingan got cooked. Donovan Clingan got taken to school by Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen played big man basketball against a big man and made the big man look like a little man. He schooled him. Donovan Clingan now has some film on how to approach those type of players. Jarrett Allen is quick. He could get down the floor. There was times where there's no defense in the paint because Donovan Clingan couldn't get down there quick enough, and Jarrett Allen, bloop, easy to the rim. They'd get in their half-court sets to get the back to the basket. He would, big man strength, Donovan Clingan. He'd get to the rim, easy bucket. Donovan Clingan got a master class on big man basketball. And I'd hope that he can learn from that, get better. Defensively, we love Donovan Clingan. He had a bad game. I don't think that's what to expect from him. On a night-to-night basis. Offensively, he was not great. He had 8 points in that game. He was 3 of 10 from the floor. Did end with 12 rebounds, which is nice. But again, Jared Allen had 17 of them. Donovan Clingan still had 5 assists. He had 4 blocks. So he found ways to impact the game in different ways. But just overall, the things that we wanted him to do well, he didn't look great at. I still like Donovan Clingan. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Still think he's going to be a very, very good player and is still getting better. I'm well aware that this is his first year as a full-time starter and that will be okay. But he did get cooked. Dirtmock Fritz on the chat says Clingan is like Myers Leonard light. No. He's got potential. Might be better than Myers was. At least his 3-point form, which is still leaves a little bit to be desired, is quicker than Myers Leonard, who had one of the slowest shooting forms you'll ever see. That thing was just slow as molasses. It was like the sloth in Zootopia. Flash, 100-yard dash. Nick. that was watching Myers take that shot. I did like Myers Leonard though. He was a nice guy here in Portland, I'll tell you that much. And weird part about him is if you went back and watched his college film, that guy could play above the rim. I could see why he was the high pick that he was. And then the NBA started to evolve, and they tried to change him into a stretch big. Totally changed his game. Also, I think his game changed after he popped his shoulder out. And as someone who has those same shoulder injuries, that can be a mental hurdle. That is not fun. Not fun. But I do think Donovan Clingan is a better center than Myers Leonard was. And, again, the potential, it's there. But he got cooked by Jared Allen, man. Jared Allen. Boo-hoo-hoo, boy. How do you like your steak? You like it medium rare or well done? Well, Donovan Clingan was well done by the end of the night. He got cooked and cooked hard. So, again, I just hope he takes that and learns from it because he can. This is my version of constructive criticism because I am not poo-pooing DC. I love DC. I want DC to be more aggressive. I want Donovan Clingan to play like the big man that he is. You don't have to pretend that you're the biggest man on the court because oftentimes you are, in fact, the biggest man on the court. I want to see him go up, get those rebounds, and just go up and dunk. In that game against Cleveland, he gets a rebound, and then he stops. He's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay, I'll go up. Jared Allen blocks the shot. Too much thought. Grab, go. Rebound, boom, up. Had someone tweet at me, oh, he's a big white center. He doesn't have explosiveness. No. That's stereotypes of booty. Holds no water for me. You're 7'3" with about a 20-foot wingspan. That guy goes to the rim. Watch him before the game. Probably go over there, go to the rim. He just holds his hands up, and his hands are halfway up the net. You're telling me a guy who can basically touch the rim flat-footed can't find enough explosion to jump up and dunk the basketball post-rebound? Tell me that. I'll find you a liar. I think it can happen. It's a want to. Take a power step, pop up, slam it. Worst case, grab that ball, get a shoulder on that defender, get fouled, go to the line. Get him in foul trouble. Just be aggressive down there. I think my friend, Jack Reacher, hesitation will get you killed. Don't hesitate. Just play. Ferocity. Play strong. Donovan Clingan, you're a big boy. Play like it. Tonight be a good night. Take it to the Phoenix Suns. Also need a big man get down low so that defenses go, oh, we got crashed a little bit because he's going to beat us down low. And then what does that big man do? Throws it out to guys like Vit Krejci, who's wide open in the corner now. Nothing but net. Tickles the twine from I-5. Those are the things we want to see. Hopefully tonight they play a better game than they did against Cleveland. And I understand that Denny Abdi is out. That's obviously a big impact. We're talking NBA All-Star, best player on the team this year. Maybe the best player on the team moving forward. You don't have him, that hurts. There was no Drew Holiday, so you were in that situation where your only true guard on this team, or point guard, was Blake Wesley, who was in his, first game back. Those things will work themselves out in the long run. We'll be okay there. I just want to have everyone play better basketball tonight. And, of course, over this weekend, Memphis, 2 games. No Triple J. Things are looking up for your Blazer. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Thanks for those questions and those comments to, do what they do, and they let me go rant for a little bit. When we come back, though, I do want to talk a little bit about those trades that are happening, could be happening around the league, and then continue to look at this Phoenix Suns team, because even without Devin Booker, they still have ways to get you. This team has been way better this season than anyone expected. They deserve a tip of the hat for that. They're a tough out, but I do think the Blazers can get it done. We'll talk about it when we return here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you, continuing to get you ready for Blazers versus Suns tonight. And wanted to remind you that we're excited for Vit Krejci making his debut tonight for the Blazers. And one of our texters tonight did say that, I hope the Blazers play the new guy over Chris Murray and Rupert. Vit is much better than Rupert and Murray. Watch film. Idiotic. Here's the thing. I defend everybody. I just like the Blazers, okay? I've defended Murray, and I've defended Rupert. Here is my take on that real quick. I think Chris Murray is at his ceiling. I do not see Chris Murray getting much better. He is like your 14th or 15th guy on a 15-man roster. I think Rayon Rupert still has upside. I really like the way he's played over these last handful of weeks. He's still not a permanent rotation player on a fully healthy team. To your point, Texter, Vit Krejci is. I think we talked about it on the fifth quarter after that game against Cleveland. If you look at that game against Cleveland, so Sidy Cissoko started. Obviously, there was no Drew Holiday and no Denny Avdia. Sidy Cissoko played 31 minutes. Then it was Tumani, Donovan Shaden, and Jeremy Grant in the starting lineup. The bench was Caleb Love, Rupert, Blake Wesley, Robert Williams, where your core four off the bench, Javonte Cook and Young Hansen, each played 2 minutes. Rayon Rupert played 19. Now, when you're fully healthy and you got everything going, he's not getting 19. I fully suspect his minutes and a mix of even Blake's and everyone, that will go to Vit. You might even see Caleb Love come down from that 30 because Vit can play. I fully expect Vit Krejci to play, 15 minutes a night, maybe more, depending on how you do have a little bit of a logjam at certain positions. I mean, you got a lot of guys who can play that you got to now start to find minutes for. But I will tell you this. If you gave me three players and you said you could play Rupert, you can play Krejci, or you can play Murray, which one are you playing? I'm playing Vit Krejci without hesitation. I'm playing the guy who is making 40% of his three-point shots while taking almost 6 of them per game. I like that guy. And he plays about 22 minutes a night with Atlanta. So, again, I think that 15 to 20 range is where you're going to see him. Also, big shout-out to one of my college football bums. You're not allowed to defend Chris Murray, he says. Well, first off, spell it right. It's Chris Murray with a K, okay? And I am allowed to defend him. I know you are not a Chris Murray fan, Alex. But, again, I think Chris Murray he's decent. He's a decent basketball player. Not a ton, and I've said this before. You can go back. We got the receipts, my friends. Not a ton. He does exceptionally well. Doesn't tend to make a lot of mistakes, but sometimes it's just, okay, cool. There's Chris Murray. He's good. He's just not going to get a ton better. He's not going to become a knockdown three-point shooter tomorrow. He also, quite frankly, has the least amount of jump I've ever seen on a jump shot in my life. I have 0 vertical. If I went to the NBA Combine tomorrow, they would measure my vert in millimeters. And I am confident that on my jump shot, I still might jump higher than Chris Murray does. But hey, it goes in occasionally. But joking aside, like I said, there's no one on this roster that I outright hate or think is, oh my gosh, terrible, get him out of town. But to the texter's point, absolutely do I expect Vit Krejci to get minutes and take minutes from those guys. He's a guy who can play. He's already proven. 5 years in this league, legit player. He's just been a rotation guy. And Portland fans are excited, but no one's out over their skis oh yeah, he's the difference maker between a championship and not. It's just nice to have that guy because we've desperately needed that guy. Now, you had Anthony Simons who could shoot, but he really wasn't able to pass it to a ton of guys outside of that who could. Now you got a guy that Denny can pass to, that Scoot can pass to, that Drew can pass to, everybody who can hit that shot and hit it consistently. And just having that guy on the floor even if he's not the volume shooter of a Dame or a Steph Curry, that guy creates enough gravity that can start to open up other shots as well. So I'm very, very excited to see how he fits in that lineup because I think there's really, really good potential with him. Very excited to see him play. Now, I talked about how we would talk about some of the other trades that have been going down around the league, and there's been a lot of them. I just mentioned Anthony Simons. I was a little shocked. Did not expect him to be shipped off again so quickly from Boston, but he was. Another salary dump for the Celtics of sorts. Helps them in their tax brackets, but then they also get Nikola Vucevic from Chicago, who is a real good fit for them. They need center depth. They don't have a lot. They have been playing Trailblazers Summer League legend Luka Garza at center in some of these games. So that is a very good mix, or a very good get for them. Just weird to see Ant go to Chicago. Chicago also in a couple deals that also netted a Mike Conley. Now, looks like reports are that they're going to probably buy him out and find a new destination for him. But they have Colby White and they have a plethora of guards. So where is Ant going to get that playing time? I still think there's a possibility that Minnesota, who has offloaded now some of their cap with that Conley trade, tries to get in on Giannis. And if they can't get in on Giannis, I totally would expect them to try to get back and maybe rework that Chicago deal and get Colby White in return, which could change some stuff for them. They need that guard. But that trade went down. The Jaren Jackson trade went down. We saw James Harden going to Cleveland for everyone just tuning in. So there's some moves going on. I think the one with Utah is interesting. The core that's going to be Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Lowry Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and then Walker Kessler, should they re-sign him, is a pretty good 5 to start building around. I like that. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a stud. The weird part is yeah, they gave picks to Memphis in that deal. Now, between that and what they got from Desmond Bane, they got a lot of first-round picks to deal with. But they didn't give a lot of young talent out. The picks are semi-valuable. I think it's like a 2031 Suns pick. They got a 27 Lakers pick in there. That's a healthy Luka away from being a good pick or not a good pick. But in general, I feel like Utah definitely won that trade. I don't know how valuable those picks are. I mean, 3 picks is a lot, but this type of trade that can change a franchise, it can go 2 ways. It can be really bad or it can be really good. But they took a swing. That's interesting. All I know is it feels like there's been a flurry. As I tweeted out, it's like both fighters went back to their corners after a little bit, regrouped, and then they came back out swinging. That was your next flurry of trades. And now I think there's just a lot hanging on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where is he going to go? Is he going to get traded at the deadline, or is he going to get traded in the offseason? I think you also look at the fact that the Blazers holding those picks, they have leverage here. They have leverage. They have picks that a lot of people covet. They have a couple guys they could offload for money reasons, and they could get into some of these trades and maybe get some talent back. And it doesn't have to be a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe it is. That'd be nice. I don't know who you give away to get it. If you could do what Utah just did and get that guy without cutting into your main young core, that's even better. You're in a great spot. We shall see when the dust settles. Now, speaking of guys who are traded and out and all that, Drew Holiday has been out for personal reasons. And I did get a comment from a listener asking, like, is he being traded since he's out for personal reasons? That tends to go hand in hand. And I said that from all indications I've got from the front office that he was out for legit personal reasons. Wouldn't disclose, nor should they, what his personal reasons are. But I didn't think it was trade-related. Well, the PR team did just come out and say that Drew Holiday has been upgraded to available for tonight's game. So the Blazers will have Drew Holiday tonight when they take on the Phoenix Suns. That will be a good get. Just, again, now you got a point guard. That helps you out. Just do what you've been doing. Remember, early in the year, he was leading the team in assists. Do it tonight. Find the open guy in the corner, Vit Krejci, and go ham. Have some fun with it. I want to see that. And I want to see it all night long. I'm just excited to see this guy go shoot the ball, see how good he is compared to how he's advertised. That was the Blazers' first trade of this trade deadline season, which has 2 days left in it. February 5th is that deadline. And I feel like there's more trades coming around the NBA, and I feel like there's a lot of phone calls being made to Joe Cronin right now. then it might not be about, hey, what is it? What are you going to give me if you want to take Giannis? But I do think there is Minnesota. Hey Joe, it's Minnesota over here. So we have some framework for a Giannis trade, but we need some help matching money and some picks. So we might send you something if you help me send some stuff your way. Okay, you send some stuff to Milwaukee. We'll send you this player that you covet. How's that sound? You like that? Hey, hold on. Someone's on the other line. Hey, what's up? Hey, Joe, it's your friend, the New York Knicks. What do you think we send you Mikal Bridges? You send us some of that salary dump and some of those picks because we might get Giannis. You think you can help us? Again, I'm making both those up, but the point is, I think his phone is ringing, and that's nice. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. Shout out to Marcus because he gets it. He says 8 p.m. start. I'm tired, boss. Yeah, so am I. These 8 p.m. starts, it's just 1 hour, but it's a world of difference, man. It throws me off. I like when I get an hour earlier, not an hour later. So join me for the fifth quarter, where we'll probably be on air at midnight tonight because you know what? We're just burning the candle at every end possible, talking Blazers, having some fun. We're going to take a quick break here, though. When we come back, we're going to give you our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to get a win over the Suns? We'll let you know when we return here on your home of the Blazers, River City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Time now for your keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to beat the Phoenix Suns? The Suns are a good team. They come in tonight. They are 30-20 on the season, and as I've mentioned a couple times, they are much better than I think anyone thought they would be this season. They're putting it together. Now, they don't have Devin Booker, and that definitely makes a difference. He's dealing with an ankle injury. He is out. Jalen Green is questionable. I haven't seen the final update on him yet. But you look back at what happened just a few nights ago. They played the Clippers. They lost that game 117-93. And a couple reasons why. And the Blazers can take advantage of those same things because they tend to be the things Blazers can be good at. First off, they got absolutely blasted on the boards in that game. LA won the rebound battle 63-35. So tonight's going to be one of those nights where Donovan Clingan needs to get going. You got Drew Holiday back. He's a plus rebounder. You got Shaedon Sharpe who can rebound. You need to be extra aggressive. Robert Williams is going to be your type of night. Tumani Kamara, definitely your type of night. Go out there, get the rebounds because getting beat on the glass 63-35 is massive. Defensively, the Suns held the Clippers to 38% three-point shooting. They shot 41% themselves, so it wasn't a bad night there. But when you're getting beat on the glass that bad, hard to come back from. Their turnovers, they only had 4 of them. But it was the offensive glass. Only 10 offensive rebounds for the Suns, 15 for the Clippers. And they turned those into points. They got out, and they got out in bunches. 25 points from Kawhi Leonard. John Collins had 16, 12 from Kobe Sanders, 20 from Jordan Miller off the bench. On the Suns side of things, Dylan Brooks, who's having a good year, he had 22. And Grayson Allen, who can score it, he had 23. Only 2 other players in double figures, Colin Gillespie and Jordan Goodwin. So, again, if you're the Blazers, without Devin Booker, they don't have a mass amount of offensive power. So I think this plays into the Blazers' hands where they can get their defense in position, force those turnovers, and more so than anything, crash that glass, especially with a Blazers team who is so good on the offensive side. The big way to get out against a team like the Suns right now without Devin Booker, catch them flat-footed. Get those offensive rebounds, turn those in to easy points in transition. The Suns come in, they are 29th in the league in rebounding. Not very good defensive rebounding team. They're 29th in the league on the defensive side. They are top 5 offensive, though. Blazers number 2, 13.5. Take advantage, rebound that basketball. Suns are bottom 10 overall in rebounding, while your Blazers are top 8. So that's where this game is going to be separated. Who's going to be aggressive on the glass? Blazers need to take advantage of that tonight. Also, don't force the issue with Vit. I know that it's going to be nice to have a three-point shooter in this one, but understand that he's still got to take a minute. He's got to get acclimated and understand, too, that the Suns, even without Devin Booker, they built their offense around that three-point line, too. 7th in attempts, 8th in makes. Be ready for that. Get out on the arc. But I do think this game will definitely sway in the Blazers' favor if they crash the glass. And also, take care of that basketball. The Suns, number 2 in the league in steals at 10.2. Don't give them freebies. Music means it's time to go. For me, not for you. You keep it locked in, because coming up next, Chad Dewing has the Trailblazers pregame show across the Trailblazers audio network, and then he'll hand the mic off to Travis Demers at 8 o'clock. Oh, my goodness. Blazers versus Suns here on Rip City Radio. And, of course, when it's all said and done, keep it locked in for the 5th quarter, where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Suns, Blazers tonight at Moda. Rip City. I'll talk to you after the game. All right. One sec, Brandon. Show just ended, but I want to answer this question. Marcus says, with Drew back, Blake back, and Krejci in the arena, do we see Shaedon play less minutes? I don't necessarily think you do. If we go back to last game real quick, Shaden played 32 minutes in that game. Now, of course, they started to get blown out. I still think he's going to get his 32, 35. Krejci will allow for you to definitely sub him out at times if you need to, but I do expect him to get his normal lion's share of minutes while Krejci gets in there and gets about 15, maybe 20. I think the minutes he's going to eat up, Marcus, are going to be the Ryan repair minutes. Maybe take a few minutes from Caleb Love, not a ton, but now you're not going to be forced to play Caleb Love 30 minutes a night, 25 minutes a night. You can balance that out a little better with your bench rotations, but I think Shaden Sharp will be good. And then Sean says, I hope Vit gets 10 threes up tonight. Hey, just, you know what? I said don't force the issue, but if he's open and he wants to take those shots, feed him. And if he wants to take them, have fun with it. I don't even care if he misses them because he can have an off night tonight, and that's not an indicator of who he is as a shooter. He's a good shooter, so I want to see him put it all together. All right, you two, I just wanted to make sure I stayed on real quick to answer those two comments. I appreciate you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you after the game on the fifth quarter.